Hey everyone, what's up? This is Vesper, and we're back again, me and Killy. And this time we're going to talk about, I guess, some streaming stuff, Street Fighter V beta, impressions so far, the current news with what's going on. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, man. It's really, really late right now. It's like 1 a.m. Killy needs to go to sleep for work pretty soon. How you holding out there, Killy?
I'm fine.
Alright, well, I guess first off, let's just summarize the Street Fighter V beta from day 1 to now, and then just like currently what's going on. Okay, so first day of the beta starts on the 23rd, which was on Thursday. Beta goes up at 6 p.m. PST, which was 7 p.m. for us, and then we start the stream. So Killy comes over, we start the stream, and then we can't get in. We pretty much get like this error 2107 kind of error, which means the servers were full. And then how long, Killy, were we trying to get in the game for?
I remember I left around 12 o'clock.
And we didn't get in once then? I'm pretty sure we got in once.
I think we got in twice between then and by the time I left.
And you left at midnight?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the beta, you have to download the beta client. If you get your code, or if you have the PSN, you could just download it separately as a different client. And then we have this whole press any button screen, and then you don't go into a queue. Basically, like, you hit the button, and you either get in or you don't, and then it restarts the whole game, and you gotta go through the whole press any key thing again. And as you can imagine, it was very, very annoying, I guess. And then, so we tried to get it in for 5 hours, I guess. And then we got in like twice, but every time you get in, it puts you into training mode. And then we couldn't even find any matches. It would literally just kick you out after, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something like that.
Something like that. So the matchmaking wasn't working properly.
Yeah, so we pretty much got 10 minutes of playtime in the Street Fighter V beta on day 1 in 5 hours of constantly pressing the button and stuff. And we were streaming this all live, so it was pretty funny. In fact, everyone was streaming live. Everyone was streaming Street Fighter V. It wouldn't let you record in the PS4, but anyone who had a capture card or streamed it on their PC or whatever, that's how they did it. So, after Killy left, they extended, because they have a maintenance every day at 1 a.m. And they extended it by 1 hour for the beta. And they already warned people like, hey guys, don't worry, we're going through a lot of problems right now. We're going to change the date on like the official first phase, because there's going to be 3 phases total for the Street Fighter V beta. And the first phase was supposed to be the 23rd of July to the 28th. And actually, Killy, like, would you agree that like Capcom did a pretty good job at least communicating with us? Because, you know, Peter was updating us like literally every like half an hour, you know what I mean?
More or less. They did a overall pretty good job. I wish they were a little bit more transparent overall, but yeah, with the amount of updates they were giving, I think that it was pretty good.
So yeah, we kept the stream up for a little past 2 a.m. and then after that, the servers went down, and then yeah, we just talked to the stream a little bit, and then that was it for day 1. So day 1 was like half an hour of playtime in a total of like 7 hours, something like that. Then day 2 happens, and then they said they're gonna start the servers at noon PST. Well, yeah, it was noon PST, right? Or 11
No,
a.m.
noon our time, so that was 11 PST.
Yeah, 11 a.m. PST. So I start the stream up a little early. I should have started the stream when I actually got in. And they said they're going to keep the Street Fighter V beta to North America only this time. So they're trying to like stop people from getting in. Little did we know that Canada actually is not in NA. I'm not joking, guys. It took us 9 hours till we got into the Street Fighter V beta. So imagine hitting that button for 9 hours. It was absolutely insane, man. I remember the day before too, like when the servers closed down is actually when I actually got in for like 30 minutes or something like that. So I was up pretty late. And then I didn't get any sleep, so I was up like over 24 hours at that point. And then Killy came over, held down the stream for a little bit, and then I had to take a crazy power nap, like a 2.5 hour power nap. And then yeah, I looked so exhausted on the stream. It was actually really funny. And then we started all this crazy superstition started happening. So we started to notice that like during that day, basically anyone who was like mostly people that got in were in the Cali area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were some people on the East Coast getting in, but it was very, very few. And then there's barely any Canadians that got in. Like, I'm pretty sure that VesperArcade was pretty much the last people that were streaming, at least, to get into the servers. It took us, like I said, 9 hours. It was absolutely insane. So basically, it was just a lot. I wish we had a turbo controller so we didn't have to press the button all the time. And then all these crazy superstitions happened, like we were basically trying to figure out, like, it constantly said to update the client, so we tried to update it, wouldn't work. We tried closing the app, wouldn't work. And then it even got to the point where we were so desperate we uninstalled the game and reinstalled it and didn't do shit. And then
we rebooted the modem, rebooted the
modem,
switch.
dude, everything you could possibly think of that would say that it's us, right?
Yeah.
And then basically you made an American account when I was sleeping.
Because everyone was like, oh, try making an American account. Because there's also like Alioun and Infiltration were getting in. And since the beta was supposedly only supposed to be for North Americans that day, the only logical explanation that they got in was they created a US account.
And don't you guys think that's funny? They closed it off to NA. We can't get in. We live in Canada, Western Canada, in Alberta. And we couldn't get in for 9 hours. And then Infiltration... True Talent, like everyone who doesn't live in NA was getting in. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty funny.
It's really messed up though, because if they're closing off to North America, then that means they're looking at the account, the PSN account origin rather than the IP address. Because if they were looking at IP address, it would have blocked off Infiltration, it would have blocked off Alioun, because their IP address would be from their respective countries. You can't hide that unless they were going through a proxy server. But the chances of them setting up a proxy server for all that is very low. So, and then finally when we set up the US account, and then we started to get in. And so it's just kind of weird how the servers are set up to look at the account origin rather than the IP address.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it was a coincidence that we got in after we made the American account, but we started getting in, okay? We started getting in consistently after the 9 hour mark. But as you can imagine, the beta was going down for maintenance. Isn't that kind of funny? Like, they're going through, like, all these crazy issues, and then they're going to do maintenance at 1 a.m., you know what I mean? When it was, like, feels like the whole server was down anyways.
Well, they were constantly rebooting the server, like, all those updates from Combo Fee, and I swear, like, almost all of them were like, oh, we're restarting the servers.
Yeah.
Just crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, because I got in from home slightly before 12 p.m. or when they first started out, which would be 11 PST. I got in from home slightly before then, and then I got booted out of training mode after like 10-20 minutes, and then they said they were restarting the server. So that's around the time where I got disconnected, and then ever since they rebooted, I couldn't get back in. And I had some friends down in Calgary, which is just 3 hours away from our city, and they couldn't get in either. Like nobody from Canada could get in after that initial reboot of the servers. And so yeah, they had turbo controllers too. They tried like 7+ hours. They couldn't get in. It wasn't until I told them to use a US account that they started getting in.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So for sure, at some point after that first reboot, somehow it was looking at US accounts only and not North American accounts.
That's when I realized that Canada wasn't in North America.
Yeah, little did we know.
Yeah, so
all this time, man, just
only California is in North America. Everything outside is not. So, anyways, even the people that did get in consistently before that 9 hour mark, they weren't even finding matches. They were just stuck in training mode purgatory forever, basically. Yeah. And then eventually everyone would get disconnected because they restarted the server so many damn times. But then they would consistently get back in right away, which was crazy. I really hope they had a queue system just so we know exactly when we get in and we didn't have to keep pressing the button. But, you know what I mean? It is a beta, right?
Like if they were, I would appreciate it if they were a little bit more transparent in this. Like I don't care if you're gonna lock it down to North America. I don't care if you're gonna even lock it down to a couple players, maybe specific players. I don't care about any of that. As long as they were transparent about it, it would have saved everyone time from mashing on that X button.
Yeah.
If they're gonna say, okay, we're only allowing U.S. residents, or we're only allowing people from California or something like that because they're closer to our servers. If they were transparent about that, I would have been fine because then it's like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. Then I don't have to waste my time. But because they said North America only, it makes it sound like, okay, then Canada is eligible to get in here. And that was clearly not the case.
Yeah. And then during the last, I would say, two to 3 hours, we got in very consistently after we made the American account. And we were actually playing a lot of matches too, but you had to go home. You were up for so long, and then, like, so was I. And yeah, we got to play a few matches and test out the netcode and stuff like that, and that was pretty fun. So, first off, I want to say that, like, I don't want to feel self-entitled that, you know, I pre-order the game, therefore I get to play it. You know what I mean? It is a beta test. It is not a pre-launch, you know, access or anything.
It's not a demo.
It is not a demo. Exactly. It is a beta test. Like, clusterfucks are bound to happen. That is the point. Is to make sure it's ready to go. Also, Capcom says they're going to change the date for Phase 1, so it's not like we lost any time. However, the people that did book off work to play this game, such as myself, did get fucked over pretty hard. Like I was planning to stream and play this for 5 days straight, and I booked off all my days of work, and now that was all for nothing, basically. That kind of sucks, but I understand that, like, you know, Capcom,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
It is
what it is.
Basically, the way I put it is like, I'm not gonna shit on Capcom completely for how the beta went down. Just because we had a bad experience doesn't mean like
somebody else didn't.
Yeah. The other thing is though, this doesn't necessarily mean I give Capcom a pass for everything that happened during the beta. Like it was a bad experience. But the thing that people like, yes, it is a beta, but the other part was that Capcom advertised it as like you pre-order it and you're gonna get access to this beta, so you can test the actual netcode. And it turned more into like, oh, now we got to deal with all these server issues, and like now it's more of a server stress test than an actual test of the netcode, because barely anybody got to actually test the netcode of the game. Obviously, they didn't anticipate on the server issues being what they were, so that kind of sucks, and it just played out that way. But yeah, I mean, there's two sides of the argument, but yeah. People are canceling their pre-orders because of their bad experience with the beta, which I find really stupid. Like these same people, I guarantee you, are gonna go out and buy the game when it comes out day one. So like canceling the pre-order because you had a bad beta experience is kind of stupid. You know you're just gonna end up buying that game on day one anyways. So it's like I don't know
Well, they're
what
just
they're
salty, right? They're
salty.
That's
but
just their way of like just laying out their emotions. You know what I mean? It's a very common thing with not just video games,
it
but
sounds
any
like
type of
self-entitled shit to me.
purchase. Dude, that's the generation we live in, man. Pretty much everyone bitches about everything these days. Excuse me.
But we'll
What do
get
you
another
think
shot.
about? Sorry, go ahead.
No, we'll get another shot at the beta, so hopefully that
Yeah,
works
the
better.
main thing, guys, is that we didn't lose any actual play time.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main thing.
And,
but yeah, I
and
do
they're
feel
gonna
sorry
try
for the
to
people that
think
book
about
off work.
in-game perk for participating in this failed
What do you think they
phase.
meant by that, though?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe like they'll give us maybe an in-game title, in-game DLC, or maybe fight money or something.
I think they're gonna give us fight money, almost 100%.
That'd be the easiest thing for them.
Exactly, it'd be the easiest thing. It's just to give us a big lump sum of fight money that we can purchase something with, like a costume or something. That would make perfect sense, and it wouldn't cost them any money, right?
Exactly.
Excuse me. What do you think about letting people sit in training mode while they're waiting in actual queue? That way to keep people occupied so they're not just stuck in the start screen.
It depends on how much of coding they have to do to implement all that. There's a lot of ways that can sort of handle the beta when they relaunch it. So like, if they want to try to like simplify the server load, they could try to reduce the amount of background objects, like how the people in the background on the stages. It can try to like get rid of all of that, try to simplify the stages, just try to simplify the amount of information that the server needs to process, right?
Hmm.
Trying to make that more streamlined, and just make it bare bones.
Hmm.
A queue system would be amazing because at
Hmm.
least as long as it's
Yep.
transparent to the user
Excuse me.
where they are in the queue, that would be nice as well. But I
Hmm.
don't know how much work that would take to actually implement something like that because that sounds like they have to start coding new stuff on the server and like figuring out how the algorithm and all that to get that to work. So I don't know if that's even more work than necessary.
Yeah.
But like it sounds like a queue system would be beneficial in the long run rather than first come first serve.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. And plus, like, if they had an offline version of the game, like, maybe they would have hacked it or something and just had like a permanent version to play or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem when you create any sort of offline capability for the game is
Hmm.
that people are going to spend all the time on the offline rather than playing on the online, which the
Defeats the
purpose,
purpose. Yeah.
yeah, it defeats the purpose. And
But
like,
honestly, the way it was advertised for the beta, it was advertised as a way to pre-play the game before it comes out.
yeah, there might
Honestly.
have the way that it was advertised wasn't that great, and there's some
Yeah.
miscommunication or confusion between people who pre-ordered the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
they handled it the best that they could. So I mean, I'm not going to be a Capcom apologist or anything like that, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to shit on them completely, nor am I giving them a pass on what happened here.
Okay. Okay. So, anyways, guys, after that, then everyone was waiting for the next announcement on the next time the beta was going to be up, which was yesterday. And then Capcom said it was going to be down for the entire day. So everyone was like, okay. And then today they finally announced in the afternoon that it's going to be down indefinitely until they can get the servers up and running properly. So we do not know now when the beta is going to start. I'm assuming when they do decide the date, they might want to do one kind of test kind of day, and then after they figure that out, they might give the official 5 days of the beta, assuming it is going to be 5 days. So one thing that I would like Capcom to do right now to compensate this is to start the beta in another few weeks. That way I could book off work again, so this would benefit me directly. And then after that, they could say, you know what, this first beta phase we're going to include Ken or maybe Nikali. And then everyone would be happy because we get some more characters to test out. So that might help people get some amnesia and forget about what actually happened. What do you think?
Yes, definitely that would be nice.
Ken would be easy for sure because we already know they have a playable version of him, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that would be a good way to handle it. Definitely, I like the decision to just shut down the beta right now because there was way too many servers and them trying to like hot patch it or hot fix it
Hmm.
on the fly was just wasn't working. So
Hmm.
it's best to say, okay, let's take it back to the drawing board. Let's figure this out first, and then once we have everything figured out, we'll try again.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, so like I said, guys, until then, let's talk about the netcode. So when we did actually get our matches, you got to play some matches when you were at home, and I got to play some matches as well. What do you think about the netcode? It being a rollback, their new crazy netcode.
I think the rollback was very obvious or very noticeable. I
It's
had
not supposed to be noticeable because I don't play on GGPO too much myself.
neither do I, but it's
Okay,
not supposed to be that noticeable.
okay.
Basically, if it's noticeable, it means you're in the extreme bad
Give me
case.
a noticeable scenario.
The characters are very jittery. Like they start to stutter. They seem to like jump around the screen
Hmm.
quite a bit, and then you get the extreme cases where it starts rewinding. So maybe say you see someone throw a fireball, and then you jump over the fireball and you hit them.
Okay.
The minute you hit them, all of a sudden it rewinds, and then you're getting hit by the fireball or something like that,
Hmm.
right? Like those are the extreme scenarios where it starts to rewind, which is the point of rollback netcode, is that
Hmm.
it rewinds and tries to sync everything back up. But it causes a lot of confusion between both players because like you see one thing, then your opponent sees something else
Hmm.
completely, right? So that's an indication that you're in the extreme case of where this is a bad connection.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I've
for
had a
me, like if the opponent jumps in on me and I do an uppercut, and then I see myself getting hit, and then all of a sudden it rolls back a bit, and then my uppercut comes out and hits them. You know what I mean? That was like a weird example for me as well. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, like despite the extreme cases of those, it was still like pretty consistent. Like you could still anti-error reaction,
Mm-hmm.
and like they're workable, but I wouldn't call that playable. Even
Okay.
though it didn't feel like super laggy, I didn't. It's not a playable scenario. I had a tough time doing Nash's link, like his down heavy punch into his back medium kick.
Is that a tight link?
It's not that tight. It's a late link and it's really easy in training mode. Like it's really
Okay.
easy to do
Okay.
once you get the timing down. But I
Mm-hmm.
could, for the love of God, I could barely get it working online. Maybe three of my matches, I was able to do it.
Okay. Okay.
But overall, like I wouldn't consider this netcode playable right now.
Okay.
It's pretty good for what as a foundation right now because
Mm-hmm.
you could still play matches and you could still, for the most part, um, do what you want to do. So you just anti-air, some very
That's the
basic
most important thing
combos,
for me, man.
and like the ground game and moves were coming out right. Like it wasn't like a slideshow, but at the same time there was a lot of like discrepancies happening on during the match.
Mm-hmm.
So while it is better than delay-based netcode, I personally don't feel that it was at a point where I could consider this playable. But that's just like the thing is we're in Canada, our internet infrastructure sucks. I don't know what the online conditions of the opponent. I don't know where they're coming from specifically.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got people from how I know it's not like Eliun or some guy from Europe, right? That I'm
Exactly.
connected
Exactly. Because
to.
they're using American PSN
American
accounts.
account, right?
Yeah.
So there's things like that. There's too many
Exactly.
variables for me to really comment on how stable the netcode is. That's why if you could invite a friend or something like that and test local online, then you can actually get a baseline of how the netcode is and then
Mm-hmm.
work from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Um, Basically, when I played my online matches, uh, some were a lot of rollback was going on, and some were really, really good. The biggest thing is that even though some of my matches looked visually laggy, it didn't feel laggy. None of the matches felt laggy. It felt like when I pressed the button, it responded. I felt like I could anti-air every time I wanted to. But that's the difference between like delayed-based netcode, like the netcode in Street Fighter 4. When it lags, you guys can visually see the game, or you cannot visually see it lagging. Sorry, it's hard because it's so smooth, right? You have to be playing it to know if there's lag. But with the rollback netcode, you can actually visually see because if it's rolling back constantly, right? So that's like the difference. But the feeling of me pressing my buttons and the inputs, it felt good, man. Like overall, I liked it, honestly. Maybe I didn't play as many leggy matches as you did, but all my matches felt fine. And I wasn't playing combo heavy characters. I did play like some Cammy, but I was mostly playing Birdie and stuff, and goofing around with the stream, right? So
Hmm.
it was pretty funny.
So yeah, I mean the foundation is good, and it definitely felt better than delay-based netcode.
Yeah,
But so I think it's okay right now. It needs work though,
hmm
for sure.
it's just so funny, man. Like go to the Twitch channel and you see like hundreds of Street Fighter 5 streamers all at the start screen. Everyone's going in for that max CPM. Everyone's just trying so hard to get in, and just everyone's all face palming, including me. It was awesome, man. The streaming experience. If you
Like,
guys made it to the stream, that's awesome. You guys were here to hang out with us. Like, thanks a lot, guys. Like, I did not expect to get as many viewers as I did. Like, my goal for the 5 days of Street Fighter 5 was 20 viewers. So I'm really, really happy that we got viewers. I think it capped out at like 500 or something like that,
which is amazing.
which is way above my expectation, honestly. And then honestly, the fact that you guys were hanging out with us, even though we weren't playing anything for over 5 hours,
Yeah,
like
some of
I
those
really appreciate that,
spheres
guys.
were
Like seriously, I did not expect that. So that's awesome. From a stream standpoint, I was really happy that my stream didn't crash. Since it's my first time I've ever streamed, and I only streamed 2 days now. No crashes. Everything ran smooth. People said the quality was good. Audio, everything was fine. So I'm really happy about that, man. I can't wait to get everything set up. The emotes and having everything looking nice and actually start streaming soon. A lot of people are asking me, am I gonna start streaming from now on? Right now, I need to coordinate stuff with my job, and get a consistent schedule out for you guys. That way, it's not a surprise every time I stream. You guys know like exactly what time and what day. Maybe I'll start off really small, just maybe like a couple hours, like maybe 2 or 3 days a week, and then just slowly, raise the bar and go from there. Because streaming is a lot of fun. I've only done it for 2 days, and it was a lot of fun just reading the chat and actually talking with you guys instead of playing matches by myself and then doing commentary on that. It's just awkward as fuck, and it's just so much better just to answer questions and things like that. It's a lot. Like, honestly, as crazy as it was pressing a button for 9+ hours, it was at least entertaining for everyone to talk to each other and keep everyone occupied pretty much. It was pretty fun. And then, I'll have some more of my friends coming down for this stream, and it's basically just slowly show you guys the different members behind the scene for VesperArcade. So the question is, guys, with the Street Fighter V being indefinitely down for a bit, like, do you guys still want me to stream other stuff? Like, do you guys want me to stream maybe some Mortal Kombat, or you guys want Killy to come over and we'll stream some Guilty Gear or Garden Warfare, or what do you guys want me to play? You know what I mean? League of Legends. Like, I'm curious on, like, are you guys joining my stream because you guys want to see Street Fighter V? Or are you guys joining it because you guys guys want to hang out with me and then we can play whatever, right? Really curious, because we're living in the day now where everyone's streaming now, right? So I'm really interested to see what you guys like between like the different channels and stuff like that. So I would like to see your guys' feedback, because if you guys don't care what I'm playing, like whenever I'm playing a game on my spare time, I might as well stream it, right? And then you guys can hang out and we can talk about Street Fighter while I'm playing something else, or vice versa. If I'm playing Street Fighter, then we can talk about other stuff too. So like I said, I really want to get into this streaming thing. It's a lot of fun so far. So like I said, I'm really happy with the results. So I really appreciate everyone who came down for the stream. It was awesome, man. You guys are awesome. Anything else you want to talk about here? Did we pretty much cover everything?
Pretty much.
Street Fighter V beta, man. Like I said, I just hope, guys, that they continue this like next month. Like, give us a few weeks. That way I can book off work, include Ken, get this thing up and running. You know what I mean? They really did need to close this down for a day or two. You know what I mean? They couldn't just have this go every day and then slowly test something else. You know what I mean? It would just take too long. It's too much of a cluster, right?
Yeah.
They really have to shut this down and like get all the information they can, pretty much.
They can use all the issues we had thus far and use that information to improve the experience and like improve the servers, improve everything. So I don't think the beta was a complete failure. I mean, yeah, from the standpoint of testing netcode, I think that part is a failure. But the beta did collect them valuable information in regards to their servers. So I think that information is really helpful.
Damn, man, Street Fighter V looks nice when you have it on your own monitor.
Yeah.
Because the monitors at E3, the coloring, all that was garbage. Like, the settings were all off, man. And like when you actually see it with like the right color settings, the game looks amazing. That New Zealand stage looks sick, dude. Did you get that stage when you're at home?
Yeah,
it looks
I got
nice,
a couple
dude.
times.
I love that stage. Yeah, man, that game looks really good, man. So
it's a nice simple stage too. There's not a whole lot that's happening in the background. So
well, I guess we can close it up and get some sleep and get ready for work. Don't have to have the podcast going that long. Next thing I want to talk about in the podcast is I want to talk about Street Fighter V, like the meta. The meta, I want to talk about some balancing, what you and me would say, like what characters need some improvements and stuff like that. You want to talk about that shit next time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to go over that stuff next time, because there's a lot of things that's going through my head, especially when I'm testing out the combos and stuff. And a lot of people talking about Chun-Li lately. If you guys don't know, during the stream, I really tried to find as much shit for Chun-Li as I could, man. It was pretty nuts. Anyways, guys, yeah, the stream link for VesperArcade is in the video description, so go ahead and follow that. And then, of course, every time I stream, I'll make sure I'll post it on Twitter and Facebook and let all you guys know. But until then, guys, let me know what you guys thought about the Street Fighter V beta, and give me some feedback on the stream too. What would you guys like to see for me to stream, or do you even care? You just want me to stream more consistently? Anyways, guys, have a good night or a good morning when you watch this, and peace.